Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women, Breaking the Silence Around Abuse. I am Gemma Serenity Gorokov, your host, and today we have Meg joining us. Meg is a very special person because she has turned around a digital abuse situation into her purpose, her business, and her mode of empowerment of not only herself, but all the people who actually can dive into her topic. Welcome, Meg. Thank you so much for being here today. So my first question for you, can you please introduce yourself with an emphasis on the kind of abuse you overcame in your life?
All right. Well, my name's Meg Grett-Pratt, and I went through, I met someone in 2013 and started dating while I was getting a divorce and not really knowing what I was getting myself into. And within 6 months, I didn't know what was going on through the emotional, the financial, the digital abuse that was happening in the first 6 months. But when it became physical, uh, that's when you kind of like your eyes light up and go, oh, this is definitely not right. There's something not right about this situation. And what I didn't know, and it was revealed that night, is that he'd been digitally stalking me all the whole time we were dating, even before we started dating. And so hitting cameras in my car, my homes, anywhere, wherever you went, they saw you putting the spyware on your phone, on my laptop. So turning on the camera and watching through there, kind of one of those shock moments. And uh, physical abuse, I thought, oh, I'm out. This is it. One time it happens, I'm not going back. But then you don't realize all the things that happen. Like they threaten you, they threaten to hurt your children, because I had children from my previous marriage. Things like that you're like, oh, I promise, everything's gonna be better. And when I heard that from other people, I think, why would you even think things get better? Things just got really worse. But I went back and I went back and I went back again. And uh it kept getting worse. And so for a year and a half, I just was trying to get away from him, but I went back 7 times trying to resolve it and get, just physically stop seeing him. And then all along the same thing were happening was tracking, you know, digitally watching me, looking into my social media, hacking into my accounts, being in control of my phone. And so I just kept kind of getting scarier and scarier. After that year and a half, I moved into some safe houses, trying to get away from him. But the digital stalking and that my car being hacked, those kind of things were still happening. And so, uh, luckily, that there's this moments, where it just gets worse and worse. And so coming up at the very, kind of at the very end kind of thing, it had gone for 7 years. And every year the stalking just got worse, and it was physical, in person as well as digitally. And I think that a lot of people think digitally, how scary can something like that be? It's very scary not knowing where someone's watching you, what they're recording, what they're seeing. They're seeing every moment, from you being okay or you breaking down, and seeing how much they're terrorizing you. And so it really wore down me. I mean, I went from being a very outgoing leadership person to dealing with extreme anxiety, PTSD, couldn't go out socially. I just was very much lived in fear for my life, because one of the things he wanted to do was, I'm going to kill you. Either I'm going to kill you or you're going to be with me, kind of situation. And so that's kind of where I lived out for a number of years. And coming up in the 7th year, I couldn't imagine going on worse and worse. And at that point in time, there was a drone that lived over my house. I'd moved 7 different times, and there was a drone that watched me at night. And I sat there and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't play this game anymore. Like I basically killed me completely. I'm just a shell of a person. And so that was my lowest moment there. And I just, yeah, the digital stalking is something that people don't realize. Someone, you're going about your business, and someone changes the station on your phone. You're on your phone or on your car. Your song, put songs on your playlist that aren't your songs, or kind of threatening looking songs. Um, it was just the constant no privacy. There's no place to go if your phone, your laptop, cameras. Not knowing, and knowing every time you moved, like there'd be a break in, you could tell someone'd been in there. Not knowing where those cameras are anymore. And so that's how my life went for every single day for 7 years.
So I would ask a daring question. How many times did you change identity? Because that's
I
the first answer to that situation. I would change identity.
yeah, and basically what I would do is I would change phones, change cars, change homes. And as far as like now my social media, it's just this GP. My name's Megan Grett-Pratt. And so my name got down to very nothing. But I dislocated from all social media at one point for a number of years just because it was just being hacked anyway. And at the final year, I was considering changing my name, moving away completely, like not just being in a safe house in the state, but like leaving the country and
Yeah.
just being being a nobody again. And like, but it involved. I mean, I already left my kids behind so many times, but leaving them behind again to just because it's like I can't get away from it. And so that was the next thing, is just changing my name and just becoming a nobody and seeing if that would have worked. But
So,
luckily it didn't come to that point.
so at some point, you must have done something right to get rid of such stalking. Because I cannot imagine that this person is still stalking you when you are that public with your real name, publicly talking, publicly empowering, really like being in your best life. So what happened that freed you up from that stalker?
Well, it unfortunately it's not exactly as I would preach to everyone else, because getting away, trying to be safe. In 2020, March of 2020, I was literally sitting on my back porch and saying goodbye. Like the camera was sitting up there. I'm like, bye, I'm done, game over. Um, I had planned on ending what I had left of what the life was. I was not prepared to keep doing this for more years. And the very next day, and I don't know, some people will say this is a bad thing, and I don't like to bring it up, but COVID hit the very next day. And for me, that was a huge distraction because I was okay with my death, but I wasn't okay with my family or anybody else, dying over something else. What I say in my speeches is two monsters collided,
Yeah.
and something changed, and it slowed down. And after like 2 or 3 weeks, I realized myself that things weren't happening anymore. Like the phone wasn't going off on its own. The messages weren't being read. I wasn't going out, of course, because of COVID. So there wasn't cars following me. I didn't sit outside a lot because my family was all home. Uh, and it just stopped. And then that's when I started getting better. Uh, so for me, it was like a divine miracle in a way happened for my case in particular, because I was ready to give up. That night before was like, I'm done. This is it. And I had been planning to finish this game
Yeah.
off with him. So,
Whoa.
but yeah, it did. People ask if I'm safe now, and up to this moment, I haven't really had any interactions or anything, any signs that he's still available. I do know that he is still alive. I kind of thought that he had
Yeah.
perished in with COVID,
I thought
and
too.
that's the only reason it ended. But he still does exist. But I do think that it's a lot harder to go after somebody when they're being so vocal about what's happened, and enough people know who that real person was, that wouldn't be hard to decide if something happened, what who would be responsible for it.
That's pretty impressive. It is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Whoa. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, because you are not the only one with that. And you are not the only one on the brink of suicide because you just cannot take it anymore and you do not see a way out.
Yeah, it
That's harsh. Every time you try to get out, it doesn't work.
it's true. And it's just hard to say. It's hard for people. You have so many people loving you and so many people encouraging and saying, keep going, keep fighting. And you really want to, and you're really trying so hard, and it's not changing, or it's getting worse, because every year it just got worse. Like, you add a drone into your life, you add, all your cars, all your phones, all these, and every year a little bit more got worse. And so you do feel like it's giving up. And so my message now is to people, just don't give up. Like, there is life on the other side of abuse. There is there
Yeah.
is hope, and the life on the other side is amazing. For me, I have to say, like, I could never dream that I'd be so passionate about something and wanting to fight for making the world a better place, and saving other people from something so horrific. But
Totally.
I'm very thankful and very blessed that there was an intervention that happened for me, because not everyone gets that intervention, and unfortunately, people lose their lives to domestic violence and relationship violence.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So, question for you, with your own experience, what are the early signs of an abusive relationship of that kind?
Well, I think some of the very early things that happened here that of course, just made me uncomfortable, but I just didn't realize that was like a warning sign, was the extreme jealousy, the possessiveness, and the isolation. Within 3 months, I had really didn't go out seeing my friends. I didn't go really anywhere else. We worked together. We lived together. All this stuff was just, it was love bombing, and I try to warn people, love bombing can feel a certain way. It can feel like very romantic and very flattering because someone loves you so much they can't stand to be apart from you, and they're jealous of everyone that you talk to. But then there's that warning sign that how much does it make you feel? Does it make you feel like, oh, happy and fluttery? Does it make you feel miserable and like scared? Because that's your warning system. That's some of the early warning signs, is how you feel about what's happening to you, or the behaviors of this person. um I should have known, in the beginning, when he'd know messages about me before I knew the messages on my social media or on my phone. That knowing someone does that is like, how do you know that? You think he's just picked up the phone. I was very, uh, I kept my phone down a lot because it was always some sort of jealousy issue. If you had your phone, who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? Even if it was my kids, why are you talking to them for so long? What were you laughing about? What was happening? And so I didn't pay attention to my phone a lot. So I thought he was just picking the phone up and seeing these things. But that was probably a warning sign there, that he was actually inside my phone, and he was seeing, everything I logged, every person I called, every person I talked to, voice messages. So if someone knows too much about you, there's a likelihood that they're digitally stalking you as well.
Mm, wow. I remember during, I'm victorious over 15 years of domestic violence with two different stories. The second series of the story, I remember the guy was really listening to any any sounds that my phone would make, asking, okay, who is that? Who is that? What's going on? What's up? Who are you talking to, and everything. And I pretty quickly turned it into complete, absolute silence. Now, that person was not a stalker, so he had no access to my phone except what I would give him. So not the same version as you. But I remember having put my phone on total silence, no vibration. I would miss countless calls, especially when he was calling me, because I couldn't make the difference. And there was no favorite yet at that time. So it was like, wow, either your phone is on silence, almost off, or you are available to everybody. It's like on and off,
Right.
And
It's
it took me a long time after I left that relationship to actually go back into trusting that I can have notification, conversation, laughing out loud, and all of that with my third, last, and dream husband, Sasha. And building a relationship based on trust, based on freedom to express yourself, based
right.
on no secret, meaning that at any moment in time we can exchange phone. There is nothing to find out there. If
Right.
there is something, we talk to each other and we already know what's going on, and then we gauge together, is that a good idea or not? Is that really like elevating you, or is it putting you down? So do you feel good about that? Yes, okay, so just go, like enjoy yourself. You feel
Right.
bad? So how do you feel? More? Okay, so that's one of the attraction of your previous life, so let it go, it's all good. You
Yeah.
don't need that. And that
Yeah.
is really the empowering part of a healthy relationship once you have already experienced abusive and toxic relationship, and when you can actually go into a healthy relationship. And that's the thing I wish everybody to be able to just like exchange phone. Can you give me your phone? Sure, here it is. And he
Right.
has access to it like no issue. That feels great. And he did not, I mean, for 15 years, it was not safe to give my phone.
Right. Right. It's
Pretty
scary.
amazing, right?
Yeah. That's hard to break that feeling. you know,
Oh
not
yeah,
and to be able to get that trust back. I mean, I'm so happy that you found that true love, and it's good, and you can actually feel that whole thing again, like fully, completely enjoy it, because I
absolutely.
think it's really hard to get that trust back again from
It took me, I don't know, 3 years,
Mhm.
3 years into this amazing relationship where he taught me what love, respect, harmony, adoration is. No jealousy. Asking me to be truthful and to say what's going on, even with anybody else, but no jealousy.
Wow.
Only wanting my happiness. It was like, I mean, this is why I call him my angel in flesh. Because that's an angel. I don't know.
It must be. It must be. It's you need that person, someone. I mean, they have to be twice as strong to get through that barrier for you, I
Oh, yeah,
think. And so when they do break that barrier, like you are an angel, I can imagine why you call him that. So
totally.
yeah.
That's beautiful. So, did you find your angel so far or not yet? Manifest that person.
Not yet. I'm manifesting that person. I've I've dabbled in dating again because people always ask, "Oh, are you dating? Do you even date anymore?" And about 3 years, I decided I could go out there and date, and then I found, those red flags exist a lot faster. You recognize something that makes you uncomfortable a lot faster, and so I'm not quite there, I guess, but I've definitely opened to love, and I know that there's someone out there that I can trust again, and just trusting myself has been the biggest thing, is like knowing now that I know that I can recognize things, and I know that if my stomach gets upset, that this is not your stomach being upset for, food. Your stomach's upset because something's not right with you in what's happening. So trust that. So yeah, I'm open to it, but it hasn't happened yet.
I remember that when I moved in with him, my beloved husband, when I moved in with him, I was scared to a level, to a PTSD level, basically. Because with 15 years knowing how bad a marriage can be,
Mhm.
moving into a third relationship was so scary because I know I don't want to get trapped. And I remember that I was able, because of that trust that he was building between each other, I was able to say, what I'm so afraid of is that once I say yes, I cannot go away anymore. I cannot
Mhm.
leave. That is what I'm so afraid about. And he told me, you know what? You have been looking for an apartment for about a month now. The few ones you have looked at did not work out, but if they would, you would have moved in. Uh, the apartment you would have found. And if it doesn't work between each other, we are adult, we are responsible. You will just resume searching for an apartment. That's it. And I
Wow.
was like, is that even possible? And he was
Right.
like, simple, truthful, easy. Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't work, we are responsible and we can simply agree to disagree and let you enough time to find something else.
Wow. Wow.
I was
What a relief. That felt really great to hear those words come out. Somebody not just saying, "Oh, you'll be happy. We'll make it happy." They were like, "You'll be free to do what you want to do," which is
exactly, exactly.
something you don't have when you don't have that freedom. Yeah. Wow. That's
And
amazing.
that's different. That feels completely different. To hear that, it's like, whoa, okay. Can
Yeah.
I even there? Can I trust it? Is that even true? Because it's too good to be true. However, he proved day in, day out that he was
Wow.
consistent, always the same, that his language never changed.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
okay, I may want to give it a try and let's see how that goes.
That's that's the best story. I mean, that's amazing. I love that the happy ending that comes out from that. I mean, just there are people out there. There are good people out there. You have to believe,
Yeah,
even after horrible things, that there are good people out there. Just, when their actions match their words, then you can actually start really trusting and believing it and feeling
yeah,
it again.
exactly.
So,
Mean what you say what you mean. That is the most important part of building trust with yourself and then as a consequence, as an extension with others.
for sure, for sure. It
Now,
certainly is
what you are about to prevent really that digital abuse, that digital harassment, digital, which is, as you experience yourself, quickly going in person, quickly going even into physical violence, because all of that is possible too. And it's like, wow, okay. Preventing that at all costs, that means with all your might, empowering people, girls yet, but actually everybody, because it's not only girls who get harassed. The other way around works absolutely as well. And we got some men like really, really harassed and stalked by their girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, or something like that. Pretty amazing. So tell us a little bit more about your work. What are you doing? I see speaking, but what? Tell us more.
Well, I initially started studying in college digital forensics. So that was the study of and finding the actual legal evidence to show that someone's been stalking you, because it's really hard to find that expert. And so that's why that initially is how I thought I was going to help people, because being digitally stalked is really hard for people to, one, believe you, the things that are, things like that can happen so easily. But just knowing I wanted to give that power back to the victim and say, I believe you, I can see this, I can prove this for you. But I wasn't going to be able to help a lot of people, maybe one or two people a year, because of all the information that's stored on a device and collecting all the information. So I had started sharing my story, some podcasts, some different people, and they're like, "Why aren't you sharing your story? Your story is going to be what's going to help empower people, and then the knowledge you've gained, through college and all this, all your experience, that's how you're going to help people." And so I started Dating Tips by Meg in 2021, about a year after everything kind of ended, or felt like it was ended, and I started talking to people, and the reason I say the girls 16 to 24 is when you start a business, people always like, you have to niche, down. You can't just help everybody. And I'm like, I can help everybody with this information. This is not just for, girls, but that's why it's right now, it's down to those girls, the 16 to 24 high school and college girls, but it does happen to everybody. And so I talk to them, I share the story so I can connect with people, because a lot of the same things happen to people. You know, they start with the jealousy, they start with the possessiveness. Those things are common almost in every relationship that starts out in toxic. And so connecting with people on that level, and then letting people know they're not alone, that there's help. There's real help out there. All those barriers that your abuser gives you, like you don't have any money, you won't have, I'll hurt your children, or you won't have any place to go because you won't have any money. Although there's help out there for those things, so you don't feel like you're trapped in this relationship, whether you're 16 or whether you're 55. You're not trapped. There are people that want to help you, genuinely help you, and can help you with those specific issues. And so I do my talks. I talk about my experience, and then I also share specifically digital tips, online safety. People who are dating after they're divorced, they're dating again in their late 40s, their 50s. What should you be aware of? What do you not know about this online dating scenario? But then also just talking about what's healthy and what's unhealthy, and how to spot those things early, and how to trust your body, and how to trust how you're feeling. Really letting people know that your body knows pretty quickly in your mind, and you get the sensation that something's not right, but we all want to, like, no, it's okay, and we kind of foo it off, or like make an excuse for why that's happening. But to really be able to trust yourself and trust that when something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. There's something, you're getting a warning, and to not walk over it and not keep going, because that's what I did. There's a lot of things that made me very uncomfortable in the beginning of the relationship, but I kept like, oh, it's just me, I haven't dated forever, I don't know, oh, this is, he's trying to be really kind and I'm just taking it the wrong way. It was a warning. And so just, really, really heeding those moments of the early signs of an abusive relationship, so you can get out, so it doesn't go on for on and on and on, and you can be safe faster.
Totally. Wow. And from what I saw in your digital presence, everything is dating tips by Meg, basically. Facebook, yes. Instagram, LinkedIn is your name, from what I
It's
saw.
Meg GP. Yeah.
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 And so thank you so much. And we saw, I also saw that you share your phone number. So that's another way to just like quickly texting you that works.
Yep, definitely.
Fabulous. All right. Meg, thank you so much for sharing your dating tips, raising awareness toward digital abuse. That is, in my show, the first one that way, and we are 200 plus episodes in.
Wow.
But with digital abuse, that's not a current usual topic. So you are on a great niche there. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you for helping.
All right, so I really look forward to seeing you next time and hearing more about your tips to help people.